many years. Our brother went to Harvard, went to Yale Law, that he wouldn't even be in the country if it wasn't for the Black Freedom Movement that generated the 1965 Immigration Act. Between 1924 and 65, it was the white supremacist immigration policy that didn't allow folk outside of Europe, for the most part, even come into the country. Few exceptions.
Whoa. Slow down. Is Dr. West saying if it wasn't for the black folks that he's trying to keep in check and say, hey, don't worry about history, you need to get over that. It's the past is the past, you need to get over it. Love what you got, just be happy for where you're at. But Dr. West is saying, if it wasn't for the fighting and the bloodshed, in the tears, the sweat, everything that my ancestors put into this country, your brown ass wouldn't even be over here. What are you talking about? So one thing that is real settled, and when it comes to folks like Dr. Cornel, Mr. Dr. Cornel West, it is real subtle when he attacks someone that is on a political opposite side. You know what I'm saying? It is very rare, but when it happens, it is beautiful. When it comes to attacking someone, you don't want to do it like everyone else does, and talk about their mama, talk about their wife, how their wife is ugly, and their kids is ugly, and their brothers is like, it's like, okay. But when it comes to using facts and history to attack someone's position or their opinion or their perspective on something important like voting, you know what I'm saying? Like if you don't know by now, Vivek Ramaswamy, okay, he has a perspective, an opinion that when it comes to voting, they should push the voting age to 26, I believe. And before that, if you want the right to vote, you need to pass the citizens test. I did a video on this. I don't want to repeat myself. I probably will at the end of this video, but really? In this interview with Tim Black TV, he asked Dr. Cornel West about Vivek and, his position and, him running. And I assume Dr. West was going like, I love that brother, even though I disagree with him, and blah blah, it is what it is, and try to make some analogy with music or something. But no, whoa, he hit him where he hurt. Ooh, this is the hard truth when it comes to individuals like Vivek, and I want Vivek to hear this. We need to make sure that he understands his spot. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only way that you're going to learn history and today. But I'm trying to be super vague with this. So let's go ahead and watch this clip from this interview, and we're going to have that conversation.
It'll be better.
Dr. West, have you ever been on the Bill Maher show?
Oh, many times.
Okay.
He's been very kind to me, even when he had politically incorrect.
Okay. Good, because he needs to bring you back, because he just had on that right wing, that the new guy, the Vivek Ramaswamy. He was just on his show. His podcast is Club Random with Bill Maher. He's got a separate show, and it's sort of like his personal podcast.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
And part of
Bill's been he's been very kind to me over the years. We had about a five-year gap, but he had me on, I think, last June. But okay. I think he's made contact, so I might be on. But
that would be amazing, because they were recently. This was just yesterday. Excuse me. They were discussing. Vivek is making a lot of noise in Republican circles, right? And right. he's very young, like 38. So he's one of the youngest Republican nominees ever running, or candidates ever running for president. And he's talking like we're in a post-racial society, and, we need to stop looking backwards. We need to look forward. And the brother's very eloquent. He's very educated, very literate, and people love the way that he puts his thoughts together. But I think he's off base when it comes to actual social issues in America. He's got a book called Wokeism Against Wokeism, The End of Wokeism. So it's in that same lane.
But you know, the irony is, our brother went to Harvard, went to Yale Law, that he wouldn't even be in the country if it wasn't for the Black Freedom Movement that generated the 1965 Immigration Act. Between 1924 and 65, it was the white supremacist immigration policy that didn't allow folk outside of Europe, for the most part, to even come into the country. Few exceptions.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down. Is Dr. West saying if it wasn't for the black folks that he's trying to keep in check and say, hey, don't worry about history. You need to get over that. It's the past is the past. So you need to get over it. Love what you got. Just be happy for where you're at. But Dr. West is saying, if it wasn't for the fighting and the bloodshed, in the tears, the sweat, everything that my ancestors put into this country, your brown ass wouldn't even be over here. What are you talking about? Man, is this Dr. West? Hey, I've never heard anyone destroy somebody's entire foundation with love and grace. He's not screaming it. He's not, making jokes, and he's just spitting facts. He's just spitting the hard truth that a lot of people don't want to hear. A lot of people like Vivek don't want to hear. Let's go ahead and run that back a couple seconds.
Exceptions, folk outside of Europe, for the most part, even come into the country. Few exceptions in the Western Hemisphere. So he comes as a new immigrant, and he gonna come here with all of these definitive statements about X. So I mean, he got to write his opinion, but I'm just putting it in context. I said, come on, young brother, you need a little bit more humility, man. You wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Martin and Fannie Lou and the others bringing a critique to bear to white supremacy. So we bring the critique to bear to white supremacy. Black people die for the movement to allow for the Immigration Act, and he gets there and he say what? Post-racial.
Well, his parents probably immigrate. Well, they immigrated, but he's, being a candidate, he's a U.S. citizen, so he was born here. But the point is,
his parents able to come and then allow him to gain access to the resources of the empire, and so. But I mean, he's got a right to be wrong. I'll fight for his right to be wrong, but we got to point it out, and we got to point out the degree to which his own personal ambition. I hear somebody say he's been messing with that genius from Detroit. What's his name? Eminem. Eminem was one of the vanilla geniuses in the black created art form of hip hop. But no Eminem without Dr. Dre and the others. He'd be the first to say that. But so that he's been shaped by our own culture. You see, when he's quoting Eminem, and when he had his little group at Harvard and so forth, he became a participant, and wonderfully so, within the black cultural world. Because hip hop was one of the great artistic creations of black folk that flows from spirituals and gospels through jazz and rhythm and blues and a whole host of other forms and genres.
Absolutely.
But as you say, we just got to keep the brother honest. We got to tell the truth about the brother and show the way in which he is now tied to or chooses to be part of a Republican Party that has never in the last 100 and some years been concerned about poor and working people, let alone black people.
There it is.
Let alone black people.
Before you go,
hey, whoa. Woo. Hey, Vivek supporters are going to be mad about this. Oh, Vivek supporters, Republicans in general, are going to be mad at this. How can your parents come into a country for whatever reasons, essentially not important, but a lot of situations is the lack of opportunities or, just safety issues in a country. Those are usually the top two. Very few people are like, hey, my country's doing fine. I just want to go to America. Like, okay, I get it. And I believe anyone should be able to benefit the opportunities that America has and input what they can into this country to make it better. I'm all for it. I have open arms. You know what I'm saying? But you have the audacity to be the first out of your family, first generation, American born, to tell black folks they should just forget history. If not forget history, just be okay with it, or just ignore, or just pretend, or just not even think about it, and just be happy for what we have now. That doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for other intelligent, educated. You know, I'm not the world's smartest, but I have read some books. I have taken plenty detailed notes. So if you want to have a conversation, we can do that. My ancestors, along with other white brothers and sisters, trust me, not all of them are racist, not all of them are the devil. We do have allies. Look up Jim Brown, okay? Or John Brown, not Jim Brown. John Brown. Look him up. We have allies. My ancestors, blood, sweat, and tears went into the soil of this country so I, myself, can live the life that I live. Why would I ever forget about that? Why would I want to ignore that? Ignore the progression. Ignore the reason why I'm here today talking to you through a phone or computer or TV, wherever you're watching. Why would I want to ignore that? That's something I'm proud of. But it's something that I know they passed the mantle. They passed the torch to my generation. And not all of us, not all skin folk is kinfolk. I know that. But when it comes to individuals like myself, we know we have a responsibility to make this country live up to its promises. And if anything, raise the bar. Not settle for mediocreness. No. Why would we ever want to do that? I'm not the individual to settle for mediocrity. We're not going to do that. So we will not forget about the past. We're going to continue to hold America to its promises, and we're going to build on that. But if you are an immigrant and you're coming to this country for X, Y, and Z reasons, and please enjoy the benefits. I want you to succeed in everything that your hand touches. I want you to be the best that you can be. Go ahead, make that money, because there's plenty of resources that we got to kind of fight for, but it's there. But don't discredit the history that brought this country to where it is, to where you can enjoy it. Learn your history. Learn what it took to get here, because it wasn't like this forever, and build upon that. That's simple. But if you're one of those individuals who, think Black Americans didn't do anything for America, we're just a bunch of leeches, a bunch of animals, and, Black folks didn't build this country, and made America America. That Constitution, a certain group of people actually lived through that Constitution. But hey, if you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm just an uneducated, young folk who just has no idea what he's talking about, please let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. And like always, let's have that conversation.